She has our Beatrice Bakery Grandma's Fruit and Nut Ring Cake. This is not that fruit cake that you're trying to pass off to somebody. This is literally cake stuffed with fruit. And I think you're going to love this. It is available today at a Christmas and July sale price. It's a 3-pound decadent fruit and nut cake. And so, Marie-Louise, let's kind of start right there with that elephant in the room. People think, oh gosh, fruit cake.
Oh, you know what? I like to say that this is incredibly edible because when people hear fruit cake, they're like, no, no thank you. And the reason is because a lot of us grew up on fruit cakes that were loaded with lemon peel and orange peel, which made them very bitter. These are not. These come from a beautiful company in Nebraska where the bakers are all on hand and they've got a line of people who have been working in the business for decades who hand layer all of these things on here. This is loaded. 3 pounds of candied cherries, candied pineapple, 2 kinds of plump raisins. You've got almonds, you've got pecans, you've got walnuts, and then you've got the booze.
All right, what kind?
You have got, put your nose right down here. You have got bourbon, rum, and brandy in here. 2.5 hours to bake this in a slow oven, and then it takes over 6 weeks for each cake to sit in a 40-degree refrigerator so all of those flavors meld together, and what you end up with is a cake that is dense and moist.
Look at how stuffed.
It is stuffed.
I mean, look at all of the
loaded
nuts, fruit. This, I feel like it's like just the cake is holding it together. The cake is there just as a binder to hold all the fruit and nuts. I can't wait to taste.
It is. Please
because
have a
I'm
taste.
a big fan of cake in general. So this is something I've been looking forward to.
And
we talked about it yesterday.
The company dates back over 100 years, but this was the company's grandmother's recipe. They found it in an old trunk and decided to recreate it because they loved it so much. This is a beloved fruitcake, honestly.
Okay, first of all, it's a very moist cake. No dry cake here. And then all of the different fruits sing a different note.
They do.
This is so nice. And you get the crunch from the nuts, which you need in a cake like this. So have a little bit of that crunch, but each piece of the fruit, it's like a little juicy burst. Very flavorful and nothing bitter, for sure. This is not the fruit cake of yore. While this is the grandma's fruit and nut cake, this is a flavor profile I don't think you've ever had before. And here are all the ingredients.
Yes, look at everything that's in there. So imagine, you have got everything's from USA, all USA goods here. So you've got candied cherries from Michigan. You've got 2 different kinds of plumped raisins. You've got the golden raisins and you've got the seedless raisins that we all grew up and loved and knew. You've got California almonds. You've got the pineapple. You've got a little bit of something back here. I don't know if that's rum, bourbon, or brandy, but I'm guessing it's bourbon by the smell. You've got Georgia pecans and you have got California walnuts, all come together with just enough cake to make it interesting. But when these are baked and all the flavors come together, you have the layers that you pointed out. But look at this. Even when you pick it up, everything holds together. Look, you can identify all the fruits in there.
I see a cherry.
Pineapples and cherries and raisins and nuts. And when you break this apart and break it open, oh my goodness, you just need a small piece. Look at those giant cherries in there.
And they're juicy. They're not dried out. So that's the thing. These are juicy pieces of fruit. And this gives me a little bit of that kind of Jamaican rum cake that I always get as a souvenir, but now loaded with fruits and nuts. And then you have bourbon in there as well. So it really is a really delicious cake, not overly sweet, but as you said, none of the bitter. And I think if you have a nut fan on your holiday gift list, they're gonna love this. Yeah, my grandfather was a big fan of anything that had nuts. Here you've got big whole chunks on top and in the cake. So I've had a couple bites already.
And it comes in a beautiful box. It arrives to you fresh. So you can keep this on your countertop all wrapped up unopened for about 2 weeks. If you open it, you're gonna need to put it into the refrigerator or wrap it up. You can put it into the freezer. You can keep it in there for 6 months and take a piece out as you need it. We recommend that before you serve it then, you serve it a little more chilled for easier slicing. But 3 pounds of cake, on average about 32 slices.
That's a lot of
That's a lot of
that's
fruitcake. You don't need a big piece of this. It's the great way to finish off the meal. It works really well with you know how popular charcuterie is right now, with all of the fruits and nuts and meats and cheeses come together and have that nice sweetness of that fresh fruit all the way through here, or just cut slices and put them on a platter. We like to enjoy it after dinner with our coffee or our tea or our aperitif.
It'd be a beautiful way to end the meal. And I do want to remind you of what you're getting. Of course, you're getting this 3-pound ring fruit and nut cake. You have a choice of ship dates. So we have a ship date of November the 4th, and then a second ship date on December the 2nd. The November ship date is very popular. So keep in mind, November means it'll be there in time for your Thanksgiving feast if you are going to serve this. And then the December ship date, that would be the one I would choose if you're thinking gift giving, or if you were thinking, maybe I'm going to have this for our Christmas dinner.
Yeah, I'll tell you, one of the fun things about bringing this into QVC is the reaction we get, most especially from our own David. Our own David was like, fruitcake, I don't know. But he loves
made a believer out of him.
It is so very different because on the inside of this recipe, you're not going to have all of that lemon and orange peel that made it so bitter, especially when you're young. You don't want the bitterness in there. And this is loaded. You can feel the freshness when you break open the pieces all the way through from the top all the way to the bottom. I love the cherries on here. Can I just say, you know what they remind me of? When I was growing up, my grandma Sister Rena, loved Manhattans. And I was the little kid who waited till her Manhattan got to the bottom of the glass, and I'd be the one that would
fish
go
that cherry
and
out.
fish the cherry out. And it always had that essence of the booze in there, and that's exactly what this has. Remember, the alcohol burns off through the baking process.
It just leaves flavor.
Yes, it leaves a beautiful flavor, which works so well with the fruits.
Marie Louise, this has been a popular cake. Over 16,000 of these have been ordered since its debut, and this is new. M63727. And tell me a little bit about the brand again.
Yep, Beatrice, Nebraska. The brand's over 100 years old. It's a grandmother's recipe. Two of the family members found their grandma's recipe up in an old trunk, and they had loved it so much for the generations, they decided to make it. These are all made in small batches. It truly is a labor of love, the way they slow mix everything together. You can imagine when you have fruits and cakes, and then the cherries get stirred in at the very last minute so the whole cake does not turn into one big giant pink cake. Then it goes down the line, and everything is hand layered on the top of the cake. So you can see the one we have over here. You've got people down the line and their little hair nuts, and they're putting on nuts and the cherries and everything put on the top by hand. Each cake is individual and beautiful in its own right. They're packaged perfectly for gift giving. It really is going to change the way you think about fruitcake and fruits and nuts. If you love fruits and nuts, is what I tell everybody. Do you like candy cherries? Do you like pineapple?
Yes.
Do you like raisins?
I do.
Do you like pecans, almonds, walnuts?
And these are big whole pieces. This isn't like what would you find at the bottom of a nut bag. Look at how big and chunky the nuts are. And that's throughout the cake, not just on top. So you have big chunks of fruit in there. Look at that big, huge piece of pineapple down there. And they're all very juicy when you bite into it. You get the moistness. This is a cake that's not dry. It's very moist because of the infusion of all the fruit.
It is.
So you have lots of great flavor. And like you said, I think the rum, the bourbon, and what's it, brandy?
Yeah,
it
come together.
It just makes it perfection.
When you open it up, that truly is, although you're looking at the cake and you're saying, wow, that's beautiful for the package, but when you open it up and perhaps you take it out and you put it on your grandmother's cookie plate and the essence starts to fill the room. It's one thing everybody says here backstage is,
like, what's that?
What is that? What is that fragrance? It's like, it's the fruitcake.
Well, already, over 200 have been ordered in this presentation. That leaves only 1,000 cakes for each ship date. So we have 1,000 cakes still available to ship out the week of November the 4th, and 1,000 cakes remaining for the week of December the 2nd. Keep in mind, already over 16,000 of our fruit and nut cake have been ordered. So this would be maybe one of your final opportunities to pick this up and reserve it for your holiday table. And the desserts I'd like to leave to somebody else.
Yes.
I've worked hard on my turkey, my mashed potatoes, my mac and cheese, all of that other stuff.
Definitely.
Let's leave the desserts. Or, like you said, put it with the charcuterie tray and have it with your cheeses and meats. Marie Louise, are we going to see you a little bit later?
This is for my grandma
Oh,
in heaven.
I think about the Shirley Temples.
I just got the chills. She's here.
All right, so hey, this is Gourmet Holiday, the Christmas in July edition.